Hi everyone, Kyle here from Wide Awake PH. In today's episode, we'll be talking about our first international direct trade relationship. Our first international direct trade relationship is coming out of Indonesia, specifically the Aceh Gayo region in Indonesia, particularly Hasbullah Farm. So Hasbullah Farm is it's a small farm around 30 hectares large, and it's a privately owned farm, of course. We have 3 different lots of coffee from Hasbullah Farm. We have a washed process, a honey process, and a natural process. Let's talk about the coffee first, and then let's talk about the story of how we got this coffee in the roastery. So I'm really excited because all these coffees are cupping out really, really good. For the washed coffee, I'm cupping it at an 84 points. The honey process, for me, it's an 86. And then the natural, it's an 85. Take note, this is not like an official Q grader score. This is just our internal score that we're using to categorize and to score the coffees as we compile and take note of everything that's coming in the roastery. So, seeing these numbers and hearing me talk about it, you might be curious, like, I don't really see much of Indonesia. Is this really a good origin? Well, here's the thing. Coffee quality can manifest itself in any region of the world as long as the terroir is good and the people behind the farm know what they're doing when it comes to, picking, processing, and making tasty specialty coffee. We know this to be true. We see multiple emerging origins from all over the world, right? The Philippines is now supplying Blue Bottle because we are capable of making great specialty coffee. Roasters such as Rabbit Hole Roasters are now carrying origins from Thailand and India. So I think it's just right that roasteries based in Asia, particularly us in Southeast Asia, create relationships with our neighboring countries so that we can learn together and grow together. And this is really what spearheaded our thrust for sourcing these direct trade relationships for these kinds of coffees. So why direct trade? The reason why Wide Awake wants to foster these more specific direct trade relationships rather than relying on suppliers or wholesale suppliers for international beans is because having a direct trade relationship allows us a higher level of control when it comes to guaranteeing the kinds of flavors that we want out of our coffees. How? So as we continue and foster our direct trade relationships both locally and internationally, what this allows us to do is it allows us to be very selective with the kinds of coffee lots and processes that are going into the coffees we purchase. So for now, being 100% transparent, these are Hasbullah Farms base quality. Like, we didn't do anything, we have no input whatsoever. We just bought everything they had and we chose our favorites. And really shockingly, it's amazing. Coffees cupping 84 to 86, that's crazy. Just for reference, Tim Wendelbo has 83, 84 cups, 83, 84 lots in his menu, whereas April's premium, which is their standard line, their premium standard line, is only 86 points and above. Okay, so this is the kind of quality we have right here. Over time, what we want to happen is for us to be able to taste the wider selection of everything that they have in the farm, and eventually fine-tune and hone and zero in to the lots that we like, so that in the future, we only can get better from here. Only keep improving together. To expound further on what I mean about, refining and improving over time is, in the future, if these sell well, both retail and wholesale, what we can do is we can even fly to Aceh Gayo itself and taste multiple different lots from different sections of the farm so that we can really zero in into, okay, we want the coffees from this particular section of the farm, and we want only this varietal because this is how that is tasting. We're talking about really precise and being really nerdy about our coffee selection. Like, this is our objective. It took us quite a while to finally land or to finally get these 3 lots of coffee in the roastery. We tried to source Indonesian coffees from multiple farms. We tried coffees from Kintamani in Bali. We tried a couple more from Aceh Gayo before landing this. And it's so funny because actually it's an Indonesian client or an Indonesian customer of Wide Awake who super graciously helped us get connected with this farm. So, the story is he's a huge coffee nerd and he was like, hey, do you want to be offering Indonesian coffees in your roastery? And I was like, of course. I've been trying to find myself, but it's so difficult. And he was like, well, if you want the best, we need to source from Aceh Gayo. Because, they're the most dominating coffee producing region in Indonesia. So, through a personal connection and through family, friends, he was able to connect us with Hasbullah Farm. So Hasbullah Farm is a small farm, it's only 30 hectares large. And yeah, these are their 3 lots of coffee. So let's go over each coffee one by one, right? So this first coffee is the washed lot of Hasbullah Farm. It's, for us, scoring 84 points. And it's a very clean, easygoing cup of coffee. So the taste notes include grape jelly, chestnuts, and brown sugar. So how those read is, or how those cup out in real life is that grape jelly note is pretty strong. It's very interesting, it's very sweet, very rounded. And then after that, you get the chestnut. And then towards the end, you're just hit with this really strong, brown or palm sugar kind of sweetness. And it just makes for a great daily driver. Super nice. Just trust me, it's great. So for the second lot of coffee, we have the natural process. And as I mentioned earlier, this for us is scoring an 85. It might not be the absolute highest scoring coffee in the lineup, but for me, this wins in terms of uniqueness of flavor notes. Why? Because, as mentioned in the bag, it has a lot of dried fruit. You get some pineapple in there, some jackfruit or langka. And finally, the most interesting bit is a cardamom note. So the cardamom presents itself towards the aftertaste, but it's there. And it's a very clean natural coffee, meaning we don't get a lot of overpowering winey note, just a lot of ripe fruit. And honestly, this is a very fun to drink, interesting coffee because given if you like playing around with your brewing parameters, you can really zoom in into which tasting note you want to come out of your brew. So yeah, I highly recommend you pick up a bag. And finally, we have the honey process slot, and this is the highest scoring among the group. We scored this an 86. And as my friend Mark put it, it tastes like drinking jelly ace. It's super sweet and juicy. In my words, it would be like a honey processed Kenyan coffee that is 86 points. It's really good. You get flavors of pomelo, guava, white florals, honey, and berries. It's really jam-packed with flavors. It's complex, yet extremely sweet without getting harsh with acidity. This is my favorite coffee among the 3. I'm super excited for you guys to try. So, these coffees are out and we're releasing them in bundle deals as well. So you can grab a 100 gram times 3 sampler pack as well as a 200 gram times 3 kit. So check it out on our web shop, on our website, Shopee or Lazada, or DM us on Facebook or Instagram and we'd be happy to sell you some. So now we'll end this video by saying that this is the thrust now of Wide Awake. So we want to be partnering up with as many local and international farms, particularly from Asia, due to proximity and more ease of travel and lower shipping costs, to find and source and cultivate these relationships so that all of us can get better over time through creating better and better cups of coffee. So stay tuned for more because we have lots more of coffees in the pipeline. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe. Our goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so please click that subscribe button. It will help us out a lot. Thank you.